Chapter 6, Discrete Probability Distributions. We're going to venture into a new chapter in this series of videos, in Chapter 6. We'll start with Section 6.1 in the next video, but I want to give you a brief idea of what this chapter entails and what it doesn't entail, and hence predicting what will happen later. We're going to be looking at some things called random variables. The next video will go into more detail. But basically, it's a variable whose value is determined by the outcome of a random experiment. For example, a family has 3 children, and we're going to let x equal the number of boys that they have. What is the probability x equals 2? This would be an example of a discrete probability distribution because the value for x is discrete. In fact, it can only be 4 values. If they have 3 children, then either x is 0 boys, 1 boy, 2 boys, or 3 boys. And in the next video, we'll show how to calculate the probability of each of those occurring. But later, once we leave Chapter 6, we'll get into what are called continuous probability distributions, where basically your variable is measuring something continuous. For example, let x equal the height of a person. What's the probability x equals 72 inches? Actually, the answer to this is 0. But that's 6 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. Well, are you exactly 6 feet tall? Are you sure you're not 60 feet and 1/2 inch, or 6 feet and 1/2 inch, or 72.00001 inches? The truth is, and we'll talk about this when we get to Chapter 7, in a continuous probability distribution, the probability that you're exactly some value is always 0. So instead, what we do when we're talking continuous random variables is we don't talk about a variable equaling a single value. We talk about a variable being within a range of values. For example, when you say that you are 72 inches tall, what you're really probably saying is that you are somewhere between 71.5 inches and 72.5 inches. We could even put or equal to here. Once you hit 72.5, I guess you could technically round it up. So when we transition from discrete to continuous, we won't be talking about the probability of a variable equaling a certain number. We'll always talk about the probability of a variable being in a range of values. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Chapter 6 is going to be exclusively about discrete probability distributions, where our variable is measuring something discretely instead of continuously.